G'day guys, Chris Eves here, personal trainer. Just sort of record a short video today because someone asked me during the week about building muscle. In particular, they said, I want bigger arms. So today I'm going to talk about building muscle and the steps towards building muscle. Now, there are three main components when it comes to building muscle. One is the exercises that you do. Two is the nutrition side of it. And three is getting enough recovery or rest, in particular enough sleep, because that's when muscle growth occurs when you sleep. Growth doesn't occur while you're exercising, it occurs when you sleep, when you're resting. So I'm just going to talk about the exercises that you can do. It is really important that you have the right nutrition program and get enough recovery and rest. But I'm just going to show you a couple of techniques today on what you can do to build muscle. A lot of my workouts are more focused around health and well-being, building your metabolism and weight loss. But here's some techniques that you might like to try at home on your own. So what we're going to do is look to activate multiple muscle groups to start with and then isolate them in towards the end. So I'm going to show you 4 exercises which are fairly basic exercises, but the technique that we're going to use is called drop setting. So that's where we start with a heavy weight and max out the reps or lift to failure, which is important for building muscle mass, and then reduce the weight and lift again and lift again. So we're maximising that time in which the muscle's under load. So drop setting and time under load are the two main things we're going to focus on. Now, to get a balanced workout, we're going to do 4 different exercises. We're going to do a vertical pull exercise, a horizontal push exercise. It's really important that you balance out the pull with a push. Any pull exercises, we'll use the biceps as well as the back. Any push exercises, we'll use the triceps and across the front of the body and the chest. Say hello to my dog. So what's drop setting? So this particular machine here I've got is a cable machine with a weight stack, which is really handy for drop setting, and it's even better if you've got a partner that can help you out with it. So what the idea is, the first exercise is called a lateral pull down, a lat pull down. Now, the machine's not built for this, but I like to do it this way. If you're doing lat pull down with your back against the bench, your whole core is supported and you're not using your core at all. So I like to spin around the other way. You get a little bit better angle and you can switch on your core as well. So the lat pull down, grabbing the bar nice and high, you probably can't see that, leaning back slightly, and it's really important that you tip forward, arch your back a little bit, and then pulling the bar down to the chin. So you start with a weight where you can do a nice heavy weight, about 6 or 7 reps. Any more than 12 and you don't have the weight heavy enough, so you should make it heavier. Once you finish that, let the weight off, pull the pin out, drop a plate off so the weight gets lighter, and then repeat the set again. Same again, keeping the core nice and strong and bringing the bar down to your chin. And it's really important not to go up too high as well with your shoulders. So what you do is start with that one, and you probably want to do about 4 or 5 different sets. Start with a heavy weight. Again, probably don't want to be able to get to any more than 10 or 12 reps. If you can get to more reps than that, you should start with a heavier weight, but anywhere between 8 and 10 is ideal. Max out your reps, pull the pin out, drop a plate, and then rep out again. Immediately you finish that, and it's part of what's called supersetting, where you combine 2 different exercises. We're going to go to a vertical push. And again, a horizontal push. Bench press is the best exercise for this. We're going to reproduce that motion, but we're doing it on a plate machine. So ideally you've got your friend who can drop the weights off for you. So core nice and strong against the bench and pushing straight out. Again, reproducing that bench press motion, pushing out. Again, starting with a weight that you can get 8 to 10 reps out. As soon as you've done your 8 to 10 reps or maxed out, lifted to failure, drop a plate so the weight comes down and then push again. So that's the first 2. They're a compound exercise where you're moving your shoulder and your elbow. So two joints moving, maximising the muscle groups. We're now going to flip around to some isolation exercises. We're now going to isolate the tricep, and most multi-machines have some sort of a multitude of attachments and places where you can connect your cables and that sort of thing too. So actually this is probably a better one. So for triceps, one common method is attaching a bar and pushing down with your bar with your hands like so. With our triceps, what we want to try and do is get our hands in that position because it activates the tricep muscle a little bit better. And again, the same thing, put as much weight on the stack as you can. That's a little bit heavy. compared to what I was doing in the other exercise. But again, max out your reps, keep your core nice and strong, elbows tucked into the side because we're isolating the tricep, pushing that down and focusing on going slowly through the negative phase of the exercise. Once you rep out at about 8 to 10 reps, release the weight, drop a plate, and away you go again. And then you do the same with the bicep curl. So you want a low cable attachment point, bracing yourself, lifting the weight up, and then coming down nice and slow. And again, rep out to about 8 to 10 reps and drop the weight off. So that's drop setting. Something you can add to that, again, is called negatives. So the negative refers to the eccentric phase of the exercise. Now there's two things about that. One is we're stronger in the eccentric phase of the exercise, which is the muscles lengthening under load. And two is that's the best phase of the muscle contraction for causing growth or for stimulating growth. So when I talk about the eccentric phase, when I do the tricep extension, as I push down, these muscle fibers are getting shorter under load. So the muscle's starting from a long position. As I push down, the muscle's getting shorter under load. So that's the concentric phase. The eccentric phase is as I'm releasing the weight. So to accentuate the eccentric phase, and it's probably handy that I've got a bit heavier weight on there than what I can handle without warming up. If you need to, swing back, pull the weight down, get yourself in position, and then come down nice and slow. So you're really accentuating the eccentric phase of the exercise. If you get to that point and you can't pull it down again, give it a good heave, get your arms out straight, and then come down nice and slow again. So you're really accentuating that eccentric phase of the exercise. Another way you can do that is you have a spotter. Someone will help pull the cable down so you can get your arms back in that position. That's something that really accentuates the eccentric phase of the muscle contraction and builds those fibers. So there's two things, drop sets and negatives, and you combine your exercises into push, pull. So both the bicep is a pull, tricep is a push. Combine those exercises, and if you were to do that twice a week with adequate rest, you should see some sort of muscle gains, again with the right nutrition and the right amount of sleep. So that's all I got for now. I hope you've found that useful in some way. Again, to get into serious bodybuilding, it is much more scientific and a little bit deeper than that, but there's some basic things you can do to start to try and see some gains and fill out those shirt sleeves, or even flex the shirt sleeves off if you're liking to get into the singlet for summer. So if you've liked that and you helped it and you think someone else could make use of it, I'd love it if you'd share it around. And if you want to know more about me, you can check me out at chriseves.com.au. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.